Alright everybody, what's up? I kind of goofed up. Well, first off, my name is Daddy. My channel is Learning How to Law. And in my channel, I explain to you that you have certain rights guaranteed to you, and I try and teach you because other people will violate your rights if you let them. Perfect case in point, this cease and desist letter that I had to go inside and get. So, real quick, last video discussed 18 U.S. Code subsection 245B2, and I basically just explained in here how I'm going to pull a specific thing from here because it's a really long list, but I pull specifically from here that patronizing a public accommodation, which is what the store is. Their corporate lawyer verified it for me, and then I have it in other official documentation from either the insurance company or the other attorneys before these people here. But yeah, they very basically want to deny us rights, and this is my rebuttal to that. Okay, so go watch that because it is very important to understand that when you are patronizing a public place of business, which is what this corporate business is, as soon as you make a purchase, right, you are protected because you patronize them, right? If you have any questions, any concerns about anything, whether it's a product, whether it's a policy, whether it's something you saw, right, in the store while you were there, you have the legal right to be able to go and say, hey, I have this issue. I need to see if you can help me with it, right? That's your First Amendment right. It's a federally protected activity. Again, do not let other people bully you into thinking that, no, you don't have your right. No, 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 no. This is a private accommodation. No, it may be privately owned, but the privately owned owners have it open and available to the public, right? It's not a consignment store. It's not like Amazon where you have to order things online and then we ship it to you. There's no public access whatsoever. It's not like Sam's Club or Costco where you have to have a membership in order to come in here and interact with us. No, just any random male, any random female, any child can walk in and exchange money for a product off of the shelf. Right now, unless of course there's like an age-restricted thing like alcohol, which I'm pretty sure they don't sell, or guns, which I don't remember seeing any, right? But there could be a possibility. That would be the only time that a child wouldn't be able to buy something, right? Without adult supervision being there. But again, I want you all to know that the company violated our rights. It is in fact a felony, as I proved in the video that you are looking at right now. And again, I just, based off this comment, big business is a public accommodation, okay? Yeah, that's basically everything that I just stated. So I'm going to now go through just real quick and let you see something in the cease and desist letter before I move on to the next part, because I proved in this video over here that, actually, hold on, wait, I can probably find it like this. Where's your videos right there. I showed you in this one right here, timeline and identity, right? This is from a couple days ago. I give you a basic timeline of what happened, and I explain to you identity theft and how it's a felony, and how with just this one singular felony, it gets all my attorney fees taken care of, right? So, again, if you haven't watched the videos, go watch them, okay? But in this one, let's read from your letter real quick. Okay, so I'm going to start off by saying that you claim that while we appreciate your business and acknowledge that you may have ongoing concerns, so you know that I have valid concerns. It's nothing to snuff at, like actual human rights were violated. You still have control of our property, right, which is illegal. You can't do that. But I've also informed you in the letterhead that because you have committed these crimes, you are not to delete or alter or edit in any way, shape, or form until we take care of this fully, and then after that fact, then you are to delete. I'm pretty sure I put in the letter that it would be in our presence, but you're going to delete all that information regardless of anything that you say, unless of course there's evidence of crime being committed against us, in which case you hand it over 100% without question. That's because it's our right. So you chose to ignore that letter. You chose to go past the time frame, and then you sent me this. So you are now forcing me to get my attorneys involved. So everything that you thought you were going to hide is going to come to light anyways. So I don't understand why you wouldn't just do your job in the first place. Because again, you were open to the public. You are a public accommodation, right? Your policies are available to the public because I can pull them up on the website just fine. I had them pulled literally as soon as you violated our rights back in April 1st. As we were driving away to go pick up Grandpa from work, I was pulling up your policies online. So, and I was looking at them so that I could speak to your attorney the next day. So, and I had it printed out and in my little green notebook that you saw in your videos. So you can't go and, right? Like, you violated my rights multiple times. You violated my wife's rights multiple times. You violated my daughter's rights multiple times. And that's why you are going to pay. So, but you go and you state that, let me go to the second page because that's where a lot of the stuff is at. Because there's a lot of, we believe that nothing happened. We believe that, you know, our clients are okay. And let's see right here. In the page 2, middle half of the page, they reference 18 U.S. Code 245, and they try and say that it doesn't apply in this situation. They try and state over and over that it's a private accommodation, right? It might be privately owned, but you have it available, open to the public. Those are two totally different things. So you guys need to learn the law. Like, unfortunately, in this case, I had another attorney with the company verify it was open to the public, and I told him I would be exercising my rights. He did not deny me anything because he knew he couldn't. So again, I have that recorded, and then I also have the letters that you sent me previously stating that it's a public accommodation. So again, you can't lie. So, and if it is a private accommodation, then you are guilty of all those wiretapping laws that I stated you were guilty of in the first thing. And the, what was it? There's a whole bunch of stuff that you basically stole, proprietary information that you stole. And I gave you guys a whole bunch of crimes. There's like 2 paragraphs. There's first set of crimes, and then there's in addition to, I found over the course of the last 3 days, these are additional crimes. So again, you guys messed up. But you go and you state that, I need to make this very clear, that you state on the very end of page 2, if I have a concern related to a prior purchase, right, we ask that you contact official customer service channels. And then immediately after, however, we respectfully request that you refrain from contacting personnel directly, including store employees or customer service staff. So you want me to handle it through the appropriate channels, but then you don't want me to handle it through the appropriate channels. You are conflicting in nature because you don't understand the law. And right, like, so again, this is just the first half of my video. 1 second. Any further communication regarding those issues should be directed exclusively to undersigned counsel. So again, you're going to deny me my rights, my First Amendment right to address, to file a complaint, and then my First Amendment right to address that complaint. You're going to deny me those rights because I have 2 separate insurance claims before you that I still need to address, and you're going to deny me those rights. Does that make sense? You can't deny me my rights. So, but you're also going to try and deny me further rights because, again, the last interaction that we had at your store, supervising training sergeant with the Lewiston Police Department showed up, threatened me with arrest, and then after realizing that, oops, I messed up, me, the police officer, I shouldn't have done that, he walked off because I, in fact, did not commit a crime. I was the one calling for help. So he violated my rights and then walked off with his tail tucked between his legs because I did not commit a crime. So again, because I was exercising my rights, there's actual criminal code to protect me. You have retaliated by telling me that I cannot come back onto the property because I did not commit a crime, and you just don't like me now. So that's discrimination and retaliation. But I'm supposed to, according to you, cease and desist from any further direct contact with employees and agents or legal representatives. I'm gonna have to go back and blur that. So if you hear a muted, okay, it's because I muted it. Okay. I accidentally said the name of the company. That's the first and only time I'll ever do that case. So, but cease and desist from entering any of our corporate locations, including but not limited to stores in Idaho, Montana, and Washington, and they also have stores in Canada, throughout Canada as well. So if we ever travel to Canada, I wouldn't be able to go into those as well. The company further reserves the right to serve you with a formal written notice of trespass pursuant to applicable state law. So again, they're going to take it a step further. They're not just going to give me this cease and desist, but they're going to actually trespass me should I ever go back. So that means that they have to have the police called, and because they're going to do a written one, that's the one where they have the police do it. The police would then walk me out of the building in handcuffs. They would kidnap me after knowing that I am exercising federally protected rights and I cannot be retaliated against. So that means, and I'll show this in another video, that means that those officers would be guilty of treason because they are violating their oath to uphold the law. And well, treason, there's a whole bunch of penalties for that, but very basically, you lose your job, you get sued out the butt, and depending on how bad of a situation it is that you caused, that you, the officer, caused, it could be lots of jail time and or death. But again, that's not me, that's the rules that are written. Federal code says all that, okay? So if you want, I'll find the name of an attorney. I have it on TikTok somewhere. He does attorney stuff with kids, like Child Protective Services. So the reason I know this is because in his court cases and in his documentation, police officers are literally kidnapping children and stealing them from their parents in their homes. And yeah, no, he states very, very blatantly that there's no on paper record that you had to do that. There's no call or complaint that you had to do that. You did that on your own. You've kidnapped, you've broken your oath, you've broken this, that's treason. You technically could be held accountable, and you could technically be sentenced to, right? But again, that's because federal code states that. That's a different attorney, right? That's not coming out of my mouth. That's another attorney, right? I think he's based out of California. Who says that, right? And it's backed by actual federal law, right? I actually have that written out in my wallet. It's one of the 2 papers that I carry with me at all times. But again, back to the cease and desist. Sorry. I'm cease and desist from entering any of our locations. Cease and desist from using email, mail, phone, or online forums to harass or defame our corporation, its employees, or affiliates. So again, I'm not naming any names. I haven't once used the corporation's name. I did right here, but like I said, I'm gonna take it out so that way the public is not aware of it. So it's basically, I will essentially delete that little clip. So you're gonna hear me talk, and then talk, and you're gonna be like, did I miss something? Yes, you did. I deleted it. Right, but again, you're gonna tell me that this is all harassment, defamation, and threats that I'm making against your company, when in fact all I'm doing is I'm using the evidence that I gathered, my First Amendment right, my constitutionally protected right, to let others know, because if it's happening to me, it's happening to them. So I have that right to let others know that you have rights available to you, and should others violate those rights, they get in trouble. Okay? And then you tell me to preserve all records related to my communications, recordings, and claims regarding the company, including emails, texts, videos, and social media posts, as they may be subject to litigation holds in the event of legal proceedings. I don't care. Pull my stuff. That's fine. That's more views for me. You're going to end up showing this to a judge. Like, this video will get played for in front of a judge. I don't care. That's fine. They're going to find out that, yeah, you committed identity theft. You committed aggravated identity theft. You committed conversion. You committed... like I said, there's 30 different crimes that I got to before. I still have to go back and amend that, because that was before the insurance agents violated our rights the first time, and then the attorneys the second time, and now this third set of attorneys, right? Because they sent the illegal harassing cease and desist letter when I was exercising my rights and I had not committed a crime. So, yep. While you are free to express your views publicly, yep, I am. The publication of false or misleading factual statements about our company, its employees, or its policy may give rise to legal liability. See, no, I'm reading verbatim from what's on paper, right? Because one thing I learned when I worked for a bank is if I misinform a customer or a client, I get in trouble for that, because they can go and they can look up, see, no, it says on paper right here that I'm supposed to get that red apple right there, and your representative stated that I'm only entitled to the blue apples that are on the shelf. I didn't want a blue apple. The paper said red apple. I want a red apple, but you sent me a blue apple, right? People get in trouble for that. People get fired over that because the business gets fined for that because the customer calls and complains to 3-letter acronym agencies, the FBI, FTC, all kinds of other people, right? Like, all right, Better Business Bureau, right? Hey. Sorry, Grandpa threw the puppy out, right? So we, the public, have valid complaints that we get to file. These are the 3-letter acronym agencies that we can file them with, right? So when you tell me that you are you're going to keep our identity and our identity documents, right? You tell me right here that, let me find it real quick. That, I think it's on the second page, hold on. So they tell me on the second page, finally, we understand that your initial concern related to a former in-store policy involving customer identification during order pickup, right? Our corporation has since reviewed and updated its internal procedures. So again, you guys knew that you committed crimes. You guys went and found all the stuff in your procedure that says, oh shoot, yeah, no, we're committing crimes, we need to change that. And now you guys have gone and changed that. You stated so right here in this cease and desist letter, which means that you were guilty. If you were guilty then, you were guilty now. And you're even more guilty now because you're falsifying records, because you're changing stuff and you're making sure that this doesn't happen again, right? So I say falsifying records because right here it states, after I told you not to delete my stuff until this is all taken care of, and because you have to give us everything, that if you committed a crime, you have to give it to me. Any evidence that is there, you have to give it to me. But you state right here in your letter, the attorneys, you sent this letter, that the corporation has since reviewed and updated its internal procedures. Any information collected during our visits, it says visit here, but we've had multiple visits, has either been securely discarded, so you can't do that. That's destruction of evidence, which is illegal. Not only did you retaliate against me, but now you've destroyed evidence. Okay, and then let's go to the fact that after that it says, or retained solely for, and it tells we keep this for blah, blah, blah. You can't keep our stuff. It's our stuff. You did not have permission to have it in the first place. You should have deleted it day one in our presence, or given it to me so that I could have deleted it, right? Because I don't trust you, right? But no, you denied us all of those rights. All of the 10 different privacy right choices that are available on your publicly available privacy policy, right? Because you have all this stuff available online, the privacy policy, the photography policy, the terms of use, right? You tell us what we're going to do with the information that we profile from you. We're going to sell and share it with these 16 different agencies. We're going to then, how does it state? I don't want to go and perjure, right? But you very basically claim that you can edit that information and then use it in other means. So you were forging that, because that's one of the crimes that I told you committed was forgery. You were now taking the information that we have, you're scrubbing it, and you're using it in an inappropriate means. You were forging it and using it to create online identities, is I believe what the privacy policy stated. It's in one of those policies. Again, I have it all actually screenshot. So this is all from your privacy policy, taken from the date of the incident way back in April 1st. Because as soon as it happened, like I said, as we're driving down the hill to go pick up Grandpa, I'm screenshotting and I'm downloading these policies onto my phone. So, but again, this is going to be a separate video. You guys violated 18 U.S. Code 245B. That's a second felony. This is me justifying that your letter, your cease and desist letter, is not only illegal, but it is considered harassment. And I'm going to go through every single paragraph, and I'm going to justify in a video how you were harassing me based off of this, and you were harassing me based off of this, and you were harassing me based off of this. So just in this video right now, you've already harassed us, at least just with number 1, 2, 3, 4 of your cease and desist, right? That's 4 separate violations. Okay? This is libel and slander right here. That's more that I can sue you for. The fact that you have discriminated against me, I get you for discrimination charges and for retaliation for when I exercise my rights and you deny me those rights. That's retaliation. So again, all the stuff that I've been telling you about, all of these are felonies. You can't do that. So in my next video, the third video I'm going to make for you guys today. Sorry, I said I was only going to make 2. The third video I'm going to make for you today is going to be the aggravated identity theft, which I showed you is right over here. Right, aggravated identity theft, because yesterday we went over identity theft, which is either Idaho Code 18-3126 or, and if you're in Colorado, there's like 4 of them, right? Okay, we're gonna go over aggravated identity theft today, and then in a future video I'll go over conversion and all these other ones tomorrow. Okay, or at a later time. Sorry. I'm going to stop this now. Thank you for watching, and I will get the next video out once I edit this. Sorry, I gotta just delete that one thing. So thank you for watching. I'll read this for you in a future video. Sorry if my handwriting's too scratchy.